James Gunn leaves. Look, there are a couple things. By the way, some people still don't fully understand this. Some people believe in the structure of Warner Brothers right now that James Gunn and Peter Safran work for Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdy. They do not. They are a separate division from Warner Brothers Pictures. They are the co-CEOs and chair of DC. Warner Brothers Pictures is its own thing. They are peers. One does not work for the other. So we already covered the Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdy angle. But in the announcement, when they were announcing that they were going to be buying Warner Brothers, one of the statements that Ted Sarandos said, or one of his main executives said, was that, hey, for the first time in forever, DC is showing signs of life. They said that. Quote, the DC is finally starting to show signs of life. Yeah, you want to know why? Because James Gunn and Peter Safran. That's why. And you know, Gunn and Saffron were just recently interviewed after the Netflix thing was done, and they said, hey, listen, we love what we do. We love our jobs. We know the responsibility of it, and we're looking forward to continuing to doing this. But similar and different from the DeLuca and Abdy thing, you start to bypass James Gunn and Peter Safran in this. Well, then you know what you get? You get fucking Thunder Force. That's what you get. That's what Netflix does with superhero content. Thunder Force.
Ouch.
And if you guys don't remember what that is, go look it up. Thunder Force.
Or Jupiter Ascending.
Or
Jupiter Ascending, which should have been great. Part of the
Oh, man. Jupiter Ascender started off pretty well.
I know.
Too.
Well, it was Mark Miller, right? The Millerverse, they announced that they were going to do all these Mark Miller things, and that fell by the wayside.
I like the casting and everything, too, but I will never get over Thunder Force. I mean, I actually think Thunder Force is the worst thing I've ever seen in the comic book genre. I mean, I think worse than Crave. There it is.
Jupiter Ascending is not. That's
Thunder
not,
Force. And I like those people in that
too.
picture. That movie was terrible. But that's what you get. But listen, it's more than just bypassing them, because even from their original comments, it doesn't sound like they have any interest in bypassing James Gunn and Peter Safran, or pushing them aside, or making them diminutive in their own backyard. But one of the things they do have to be careful for is just them up and leaving. You want to be careful. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you got tiptoe around James Gunn and Peter Safran. You're still the bosses. It's still your company. You own it. But at the same time, you want to be able to let them cook like DeLuca and Abdy. But you also got to understand, there is something very unique. There are unique sets of pressures, Rob, when it comes to trying to create superhero cinematic universes.
Yeah.
I mean, like very particular, very passionate and angry fandoms, all this kind of stuff. And it's a very precarious wire that people like Kevin Feige, James Gunn, back when he was doing it, Zack Snyder, like everybody would say, it's a unique kind of pressure doing it. And what you want to do as the bosses of these types of people is facilitate.
Yes.
Facilitate.
That's good producing.
Facilitate. What do you need? What do you need? No, I'm not going to give you $700 million to make a Blue Beetle movie. But aside from that, what do you need? Like, what do you need? How can we make your life easier? Because if you don't, then the people who are uniquely equipped to handle these types of jobs and do them successfully, like James Gunn and Peter Safran are currently doing, then at some point they're going to do, this isn't worth the hassle anymore. And they're going to up and go. And if James Gunn wants to go, you know who's going to be waiting with an open door? Everybody. Remember when James Gunn left Marvel? What happened? Every single studio in Hollywood, we predicted this would happen. Every single studio in Hollywood lined up at his door with blank check offers to say, do whatever you want. The one he picked was Warner Brothers, and he picked to go with DC. If you don't give him an environment to cook, at some point he's just going to go, you know, I can make one phone call. I'll have offers from every studio in this business, including my buddy Kevin Feige, who's probably going to say, hey, you know what? I'm probably looking at leaving Marvel pretty soon. You want to come over here and take over Marvel? Hell, you only created one of the most successful franchises we have in the business with the Guardians stuff. So, I mean, they're going to want to be careful with it. Again, James Gunn is not your boss. You're James Gunn's boss. But you got to be very careful and make sure you don't just have him up and leave, because it has taken a while for them to, in Netflix's executives' own words, bring life back to DC. Hell, everybody's chattering now about the trailer that's dropping tomorrow of Supergirl. That's because James Gunn has created a new environment. for fandom around DC.
And marketing, going back to what we said, marketing.
And 100% with the marketing. Marketing, you also got to give that credit to Warner Brothers because they're the distributors. But I mean, you got to make sure he doesn't leave, because if he goes, you know Saffron's going to go too. So my fourth point here is the way this Netflix deal could turn into a disaster is if James Gunn leaves. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Aura. Guys, if you are anything like me, you swear every year you're going to be on top of your Christmas shopping, and then suddenly it's December 20th, the shelves are empty, and you're standing around in Target asking yourself, does my aunt even like candles? But this year, I am not doing that because of Aura Frames. It's completely saved me. See, I always struggled with what to get people in my life, but this year I'm going to give out a couple of Aura Frames, and it's hands down the most personal, meaningful gift that I can possibly give. And here's the best part. Aura lets you upload unlimited photos and videos. Plus, the frame comes in a premium gift box with no price tag, so it feels like a classy, well thought out gift, even if you bought it last minute. Guys, you can't gift wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. So for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code Campea at the checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Campea. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in on time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning that we sent you at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Anyway, Rob, your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I agree with you. And the thing about what DC is doing, which I find, again, really interesting, they have a number of things already in production. Supergirl, Clayface, Lanterns. We haven't seen those things yet. And also, they are overseeing Matt Reeves' The Batman 2, which is not part of the Gunverse, but they're probably having some input in on that as well, because it is a DC property. I don't know if Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca are overseeing Batman 2, but I would imagine it's James Gunn and Peter Safran. So they've got something that's sort of even outside their own universe. And if they continue to do that, if they continue to make standalone superhero films, that's great. That's great for them too. It just shows that they have multiple projects. They have Creature Commandos, they have Peacemaker season 2, and they've got Superman so far. That's what we've seen from his universe, and they all have done pretty well. You know, Peacemaker was a big hit on HBO. Superman did great for a first, right out of the gate, and it's done well with VOD. And they have a really interesting slate coming. Why? They have at least another 3 or 4 years to go before we've seen everything that they've got in production. They're embarking on Man of Tomorrow in April? They start shooting that or whatever. And Batman 2 is starting to shoot. So they've got a really, really robust and really strong slate of movies that we're going to see coming out very quickly. Supergirl comes out in July. I'm not sure when Clayface comes out. I think also that comes out next year, toward the end of the year. Then they've got, I'm sure Man of Tomorrow will come out in 2027. Batman 2 will probably come out in 2027. This is a very healthy slate that's also part of what they've bought. And why would you want to get rid of them? And James Gunn and Peter Safran have a really interesting opportunity. They're going to bring in more and more filmmakers. The thing about Supergirl is we get to see something that somebody else directed other than James Gunn. James Gunn didn't write the script, and James Gunn didn't direct the movie. So we're going to see what that looks like. It's going to give it it's a different flavor of souffle. So I think they're cooking with gas over there too. Let's see where it goes. And why would you possibly want to get rid of those guys? They're in the middle of the early stages. This is the first stage of their 3-stage rocket that's going up, that's about to break free of Earth's gravity. Let them go to the moon, or let them go to Mars. Let them go to Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto. Pluto's a planet, by the way. I don't care what anyone says. Let them go. Don't lose them. And Peter Safran's also connected as a producer to the Conjuring.
Oh yeah, he's done a lot for the company, which is part of the reason why they were comfortable making him the co-CEO with James Gunn there. These are guys you cannot lose. It's not just a matter of, obviously you don't get rid of them, but you got to make sure you do what you need to do to make sure they don't leave. And we'll see if they're able to do that. Because if they do go, and all of a sudden DC is facing yet another reboot, I mean, it's a complete and total disaster. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.